Good morning, students. So we will start with chapter 2, material costing. So theory part alone I will send through audio, and in the next class we will start with the problems pertaining to material costing. So material costing, it is a very important part of the product. So without the material you cannot go for production. So that's why the cost of production depends on the increase and decrease of the material consumption. So how you consume, it is based on the material only. So if material is there will be more increase in the production. If there is a material is not there, means the cost of production will be very less. So that's what the cost of production will increase or decrease on the basis of the material consumption. So control of material is one of the major function of all manufacturing industry. So you have to control it. You should not waste. So controlling is very much important, so that you can function the manufacturing unit in a efficient way. So it is said that more than 50 to 60% of total cost of production generally consists of materials alone. So major portion means nothing but the 50 to 60% of the portion covers only with the material. So about this only, how you are going to control it and what are all the various ways through which we can calculate the purchase price of the materials, those things we are going to see in this chapter. So next one is meaning of material. So what is material? Means it refers to the cost of commodity or an item which forms the part of a product. So it is a part of the product, means not only with the material, many things are there. Along with that we will add the how much we have purchased the material, that expenses, then overhead expenses, everything we will add, and after that we will include the profit. All those things we have seen in the cost sheet. So what is material? That means it is the commodity through which we are going to convert the raw material into finished product. So what the raw material we are going to use for producing the product, that only we will call it as material. So that is a part of the product. That's what. So that is the meaning of material. What is the definition which is being given by CIMA is material cost is the cost of commodity supplied to an undertaking. So maybe it is not there in the notes which I have given, but you can write it after meaning definition of material. According to CIMA, material cost is the cost of commodity supplied to an undertaking. So I'll add the notes over here, or whatever I have said, the same thing you can write it. Material cost is the cost of commodity supplied to an undertaking. So that is the definition which is being given by CIMA. And what are the objectives, or what is the importance of material here is, that's what the first one we can, from the introduction itself we can know that you can calculate the standard quality of the material used. So how much you have used, whether that used material is a quality one or not, that you can know. And that too per unit, each and every unit, what is the quality of material that is being used, that can be ascertained. Then second one is, if related to the manufacturing unit, while consuming or while producing the raw materials, if there is any scrap is there, means that also we can come to know how much of wastage is there for the material that we have used. That is only we will call it as scrap. So that scrap value can be determined per unit, and that scrap value also will be added. So that means not added, it will be deducted. So that means later you can sell those scraps and again bring it to the revenue to the manufacturing unit. So whatever the scrap that you have calculated per unit, that will be deducted. But those scrap we can sell it outside. Because of that scrap also, that will become the raw material for some other finished goods. So that can be sold, and again that amount whatever you have sold, that scrap, that will be brought as a revenue. So in these ways it can be. It is very important to have materials. Like you should know the importance, without which you cannot run a manufacturing unit. So because of this only material, the manufacturing unit runs. So this is about the importance of material. The next one is material control. So what is that? Material control is nothing but systematic way of how we are purchasing the goods, where we are storing it, and how much we are consuming. So in this, if it is being done in a systematic way, we can easily control the material, because there should not be more scrap also. So how much of amount per unit of material we are using it, there will be scrap. Beyond that level, if the scrap goes more, that means we are not having the control over the material. So in order to have the control, what we have to do? First, we must know what is material control. Material control is nothing but purchasing, storing and consuming the materials in a systematic way regularly, and whenever there is a need for the supply of material, that timely we have to take the materials and we have to produce that. That is only material control. And even overstocking also you should not do that. Also it will not come under material control. So in this way, if you are going to do it, we can easily control the material. So refers to it is actually a management function. Acquisition, storage, handling means what? That is, we are purchasing it, we are storing it, and we know how to handle the material, when to release it, how to use it, how much to use it. Like that, if you've been systematically do this process, that is only called as material control. So now how many types of material? There are kinds of material you have. So materials, if you see, it is divided into two, that is direct material and indirect material. So direct material, you know that. So that is the material which is being the main object of producing the product. So without which we cannot produce it. So that is only direct material. So easily we can identify for which it is being used for production. That is only called as direct material. So for example, here they have given, that is in the textile mill, cotton. That is the material, direct material. In case of wax industry, when you are producing candles, wax is the direct material through which what you are going to produce the finished product. That base only we will call it as direct material. So that is direct material. So next one, what it is? Indirect material. So only with the help of wax alone you cannot do candles. It has to be lightened. Then only the lightness will come. So then only we can say that as a candle. So in the same way, what we have to use there to lighten up, we need a thread. So that thread, what we are going to use it in the candle. So that only we'll call it as indirect material. So say for example, one more, like we use furniture, we use wood. So that is a direct material. So it's not that only with the wood it will be made. So along with that we will use nuts, bolts, so that it will stand, and remaining other accessories we will be using it so that it will come to a finished product as a table, study table. So those things, what the nuts and bolts we are using it, that will be called as indirect material. So that is what the direct and indirect material. So that is about the types of materials. Now, what are all the features of direct material? Already it is given. That is, it is one of the main part of the manufacturing unit, that is direct material. And along with the direct materials, other materials are also being used in order to bring to a finished product. Then with this, what we will know, how much units have been produced, and we can calculate the value of per unit in the production. And moreover, which is also known as what we call it as variable material cost. So how much ratio it has been increased when we started increasing the production. So that is what direct material can be related to the unit produced. How many units you have produced. So we can easily know with the help of the materials. And moreover, how much it has increased in the ratio. Is it the same ratio we have increased, or any other difference is there? What is the reason for the difference? All this we can calculate it. So that is known as variable material cost. Then how much of material being brought for the specific job. Specific job means that is whichever the production we are going to undertake, that is only specific job. So for that, how much material we bought and used, that value can be known. Then if any material used for specific cost center, then the material will direct material for that specific cost center, although it is indirect from the point of view of total cost production. So when comparing it, that is at last, all including all the expenses, we will come to know about the total cost of production. Like we will, with the opening stock, we'll add purchases, any carriage inwards, then any wages, all those things. Everything we will add. But at last, what we will get the value of total cost of production, including all the overheads. But here what they say is, even though it has been considered as total production, that material we will divide into two. That means, what is the main object of the material, that will come under direct material, and the other remaining things, accessories that we have used for making that or turning into finished products, all that will come under indirect materials from the material point of view. So this is the features of direct material. The next one is indirect material. So what is indirect material? That is, indirect material is nothing but conveniently identified with the particular cost. That is, it becomes, actually the meaning is it becomes a part of the finished product. That is only called as indirect material. So when we calculate this, how much of changes has been made in the production, we can know it, and how much is the real cost of production, we can come to a conclusion only with the material. Not only with the material, it includes many things, even it includes indirect material. After that only we can come to know about the cost of production. So all these are the features of indirect material. So what is material control? I have already explained. That is nothing but it is a process of or a systematic way of purchasing, storing and consuming the materials in the right time and at the right place and at the right amount. That is only called as controlling the materials, or what we call it as material control. So here, what are all the activities are being included in the material control means? So you have, first one is you have to purchase the material, that is only purchase and procurement. Next one is the receipt and inspection, means what you have purchased, for which whether you have received the receipts and it is been, those goods are being inspected or not. Then you have to, those goods has to be kept in the storage. After that only you can use it for your consumption. Then, so when you are consuming it, how much of value are being consumed, that is only valuation and consumption. So whatever you have used, that for which the accounting has to be done, that is valuation and accounting. And at last, how much ever it is there, that only we are going to control. Whether we have controlled the material or not, that is only stock control. So these are the various ways through which the activities are being involved in the material control. So next heading, procedure for procurement of materials. So what is the procedure being followed in purchasing the raw materials? We will see one by one. So what is the first, how the procedure starts in purchase requisition is, first you have to give a requisition. So in that requisition you have to mention the specification, like what type of quality and what is the quantity of materials you need for which department, at what time you need. So those things you have